Hey, hello everybody, it's Bob Smith from Smith Taekwondo and Pro Sport Kickboxing and defense contractor for the government. And I'm coming to you today on October 15th, 2016. And this is going to piggyback a little bit off of a video that I did earlier called Drugs in Your Family. And the reason I'm doing this is a couple of reasons. One, there's a chicken shit punk from Kaneohe that him and his brother are drug addicts. They're drug users. They promote drugs. I've given their names to HPD and nothing's happened. These guys are known to have robbed many of the houses on the windward side, and one of them had the nerve on social media to tell me that I shouldn't judge drug users. And he's one of these guys, he's got a big pot plant growing in his house and has that posted on Facebook, and he's proud of that. He's proud that he's a drug user. He's proud that he's a thief. You know, as I talked about in a couple of videos back, it's almost a rite of passage these days for these kids in Hawaii. Kids in Hawaii have always followed closely what the mainland inner city kids do. Criminal activity, robberies, drugs. They've always identified very closely with the Afro-American gang activity from the late 80s to current. The Polynesian youths, the millennial generation, even before that, they copied everything that the mainland gangs were doing. Everything from MS-13 to notorious Crips and Bloods. These guys wanted to be like them so bad, and there's a lot of them in Hawaii that do that. But it used to be that they were affiliated with gangs, and that was their rite of passage. Now, just because of this thug lifestyle and thug mentality, young guys, they just think it's cool because they've been in prison. Is that how you're going to make your kids proud of you? That you're a felon? You're a criminal? You go around robbing houses for a living? Is that how you make your kids proud of you? You boast on social media that I shouldn't judge someone who's a drug user. Well, two things. Yeah, I can, because I've given more to this community than you ever have. In a quarter of a century, the past 25 years, what I've done in this community for families, you can't even come close to touching. You're nothing but a thief and a drug user. That's it. You think because you've climbed in the ring once and fought in some broke-ass MMA event that you're credible? You're not even close. Secondly, when you made this comment, you didn't realize or didn't know, or honestly, you're not smart enough to care, but we were dealing with someone that I know, and I won't mention his name because he doesn't deserve the credit, double suicide that took place here the end of last month. This guy is a chicken shit coward that was addicted to methamphetamine, the very drug that you said that I shouldn't judge people on. And he was sexually involved with a young lady, teenager, underage, from the time she was 13 or 14. And this guy was 44 years old. So don't tell me that I don't have the right to judge, because all that makes you is a pervert and a coward. Parents, you need to pay attention to what your kids are doing. And yes, it is okay to judge. It is okay to form those opinions. You need to know when there's somebody that's influencing someone in your family that they're influencing them in a negative manner that's going to involve the safety of your family member. So this guy been involved with this young lady since she was 13 or 14. The girl's mom had a restraining order against him. He was still seeing her. You guys can read the rest in the newspaper. But ultimately, him and this girl were out smoking meth for a week out at Marconi's on the east side, North Shore. And there was a missing persons bulletin put out on him. Nobody could find him. And when the police finally did locate this bastard, when they moved in on him, he turned around, faced the police when they were coming at him, shot himself and fell inside of his vehicle, and then this young girl took her life. Now, you can say, well, Bob, there's more to it than that. No, there isn't. And for you fucked up drug users, you guys that promote methamphetamine, that are high school dropouts, that barely finished high school in Hawaii, which is not the top of the food chain educationally speaking, don't try to give me advice on methamphetamine. Scientists have been using this chemical compound for nearly a century. And if doctors and scientists know the effects of it and know how deadly it can be, they know how toxic it is, and whenever police are raiding homes now, whenever they do occasionally bust a meth lab, they do it with NBC suits, chemical suits, so that they won't be exposed to chemical contaminants. So your dumbass meth users, coke freaks, you guys are smarter than these scientists who have been developing this drug for the past century. You know more about it than they do. You know that you're the one person, even though statistically, if you smoke it one time, you're hooked. You are hooked for the rest of your life. But somehow you're smarter than all of these scientists that have PhDs in chemistry. You're smarter than them. So your dumbass with your rotting teeth, your scarred tattoos all over your body, your felony background because you're not even man enough or woman enough to hold a job, but yet you want to reach out and hurt your family, you know more than them. That's amazing. And to this guy that I'm talking to, you made a comment about my son. You don't cross that line, first of all. We'll talk when I see you. And secondly, tell my son that comment. See if he lets you get away with it. So when you guys are dealing with people who are on meth, please be careful. Get away from them. Don't think that you can get them help. A lot of people in this last case that I'm talking about, this double suicide, nobody wanted to admit that there was a problem. I brought it up a year ago. And people turned their back on it. No, that's not it. That was it. Don't think that your family member is the one who is the one person out of all the people in the world that use methamphetamine. Don't think that you know your family member so well that they're not capable of this. The man killed himself and a little girl. He took a young lady with her that will never be able to live her life. Never go to her high school prom. Never get married. Never go to college. Never get a chance to travel because of this selfish bastard. Not to mention what sort of a coward he is for doing this to his own family. This guy has kids. Leaving that burden on your kids. Your ex-wife, your own parents, and your siblings. It's one of the most selfish acts that you can commit. People are still suffering in your family because of you, because of your actions. You're done. Your problem's over. You ended it. You shot yourself like a coward. You want to talk like you're a trigger puller or you're an operator? because you're a vet, you're a gate guard. That's it. And then you have the audacity to brainwash this little girl from the time she was 13 and 14 years old. And somehow you're 44 and you think, yep, this is the one, we're going to get married. Are you out of your freaking mind? Bottom line is, you smoke methamphetamine one time, you're hooked, you're done. You may think that you can manage it a year or two as your life continues to slowly spin out of control. A little more, and a little more, and a little more. And what you're doing is digging yourself into a hole that you just can't get out of. But by the time you're in that hole, it's too late. You think that you want to judge me because I judge drug users? I'm easy to find. Smith Taekwondo Center. I've been here in Kaneohe for past 27 years. Well established. Nobody's putting me down. So, drug user, be my guest. Thieves, be my guest. You're a danger and you're a menace to your families, to the people in your neighborhoods, and to your society and your community. If you're on methamphetamine or you're on coke and you have the wherewithal to understand that you need help, don't think, oh, I can't. Get the help. Go to Queens. Go to Hinamaka. Ask someone to get you help. Go to your church. Talk to your pastor, your priest. Get the help that you need. So, this one was a sad one. Hate talking about this. Hate even thinking that I would have to address a certain coward in this community. But him and his brother, like I said, my door is open and I'm easy to find. But methamphetamine kills. We see it every day in this community. Some guy just stabbed his 5-year-old nephew. Stabbed him, grown man, 5-year-old nephew. 6 years ago, Cyrus Belt, an infant, was thrown off an overpass on the H1 freeway by the guy who was smoking methamphetamine, stoned out of his mind. You see it all the time. If you're on the drug, get help. This is Bob Smith. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. Until next time, out.